Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh and good day everyone. I am Hanan Arjanathan and now in this video we are going to discuss about the alternative energy. So, the Philippines and ang ibang bansa is they've been using the fossil fuels like the coal, the oil, and other natural resources. And itong mga natural resources na ito is hanggang ngayon is still working good naman. But then, sa tagal na ginagamit natin ito is baka maubos ito. Kaya nga kailangan natin maghanap ng alternative energy resources which are cleaner, more economical, and nakakabuti sa environment natin to help the whole world. So ano nga ba itong alternative energy? So itong energy na ito is hindi galing sa fossil fuels like kagaya ng coal, gas, and oil. So this is very important kasi by this, makukulangan natin yung mga problems that is caused by fossil fuels. Kagaya na lang ng large amount of carbon dioxide na nire-release ng fossil fuels, which is nagko-cause ng problem kasi nga 'di ba ang carbon dioxide is the major cause of global warming, kaya we should use alternative energy than to use too much fossil fuels, which is hindi maganda sa environment natin. May tinatawag din tayong renewable energy. So, ang alternative energy and renewable energy is a big category that includes all kinds of energy na hindi nanggagaling sa fossil fuels. Ang renewable energy ay energy that is from natural resources na hindi nauubos. Like kagaya na lang ng solar, wind, and geothermal energy. So this energy does not cause pollution and pwede siyang gamitin pa ulit-ulit. So that is the renewable energy. So ngayon, ano na naman ang pinagkaiba ng alternative energy and renewable energy? So, parang pareha lang din sila, 'di ba? Kasi 'di ba, ang mga energy na ito hindi nanggaling sa fossil fuels. So, ang like what I've said, ang renewable energy is very natural. Like, hindi na kailangan ng human intervention. Like, halimbawa, the solar energy, the wind energy, and the geothermal energy, and hydro or the water energy. And ang pinaka common or pinaka kumbaga alam natin here in renewable energy is solar the solar energy, which is most of us is alam na because nakagamit nakakita na tayo and nagamit na natin. And kasi nga very common siya kasi ang sun nandyan lang din ang sun. And for alternative energy naman, it includes stuff like the natural gas, which is nakukuha natin siya through fracking, like nagpa-pump ng high pressure into the ground para makuha yung gas. And yun, and yung foil cells and the waste energy. So yun yung mga alternative energy. Pero yes, unlike the renewable energy, kasi hindi siya laging nandyan. Ang alternative energy, kumbaga, hindi laging available or hindi siya unlimited. Kumbaga, it's limited. But still, it is still a better option. Kumbaga, mas maganda din itong alternative energy than to fossil fuels kasi mas nagko-cause or mas nagpo-produce ng less pollution ang alternative energy kaysa fossil fuels.
Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nasra A. Uyag. So I will discuss to you the sources of alternative energy. So maraming sources ng alternative energy na pwedeng gamitin bilang kapalit ng fossil fuels. So ito ang ilan sa mga pangunahing halimbawa. So ang una ay yung nuclear power. So, ang nuclear power ay isa sa mga pinaka-epektibo at malinis na sources ng energy. So, gumagamit ito ng uranium para makagawa ng malaking amount ng kuryente nang walang direct carbon emissions. So, ang benefits nito is malinis siya at saka efficient at nakakapagbigay ng trabaho dahil sa construction at operation ng mga power plants. Pero ang downside nito is kailangan ng maingat na management dahil sa radioactive waste at posibilidad ng mga aksidente. Pangalawa is yung hydroelectric energy. So, ang hydroelectric energy ay nanggaling sa lakas ng tubig gaya ng mga dams. Matagal na itong ginagamit bago pa sumikat ang fossil fuels. So, sa US, halos 7% ng energy ay galing dito. So, ang benefits nito is malinis siya at renewable energy source. And then, tumutulong din ito sa flood control at irrigation. Pero ang downside nito is may epekto sa ecosystem ng mga ilog at wildlife kapag nagtayo ng dam. So, ang pangatlo is ang wave energy. So, ito ay gumagamit ng alon sa dagat para makabuo ng kuryente gamit ang mga wave energy converters. So, mas versatile ito kaysa sa tidal energy dahil pwedeng ilagay sa iba't ibang lugar sa karagatan. So, ang benefits nito is wala halos na waste of pollution. So, mas reliable at may malaking potential kapag ginamit ng tama. Pero ang downside nito is high initial cost at limited pa ang teknolohiya. So, sa number 4 naman is yung biofuels. So, ang biofuels ay energy na galing sa organic materials tulad ng halaman at hayop. So, renewable ito kapag ang ginagamit ay mga halaman dahil pwedeng patubuin ulit. So, ang benefits nito is pwedeng gamitin sa transportation fuels. At saka environmental friendly na naman kung saan sustainable ang paggawa. Pero ang downside nito is maaaring magdulot ng deforestation at food shortage kung hindi maayos ang production. So, ang panglima naman is yung natural gas. Ang natural gas ay matagal nang ginagamit pero mas na-improve ang paggamit nito dahil sa bagong compression techniques. Ginagamit ito ngayon sa mga sasakyan para mabawasan ang carbon emissions. Ang benefits nito is mas malinis kaysa fossil fuels. Malawak ang demand dahil sa pagiging versatile nito. Pero ang downside nito is posibleng magdulot ng kontaminasyon sa tubig at saka naglalabas pa rin ng greenhouse gases kahit mas mababa kaysa sa coal o oil. So, ang lahat ng nabanggit ko na alternative energy sources tulad ng nuclear, hydroelectric, wave energy, biofuels, at natural gas ay mahalaga para sa sustainable na hinaharap. Sa paggamit ng mga ito, makakabawas tayo ng polusyon at maibsan ang dependence natin sa fossil fuels.
Good day, I'm Hasarjo Lucas. Now let's talk about the geothermal power. So, geothermal power is a method of harnessing the Earth's natural heat to generate electricity or provide direct heating. This energy originates from the planet's core, which remains extremely hot due to the process such as radioactive decay and residual heat from Earth's formation. Wells are drilled deep into underground reservoirs to access hot water or steam trapped below the surface. The heat is then used to turn turbines connected to generators producing electricity. In some systems, the geothermal fluid transfers heat to another liquid that evaporates at lower temperature, driving the turbines without direct contact. After extracting the energy, the cooled water is typically reinjected into the ground, helping to sustain the geothermal reservoirs for long-term use. So this geothermal energy is highly reliable because it provides a consistent power supply independent of weather conditions or time of day. It is also environmentally friendly, emitting very low levels of greenhouse gases compared to fossil fuels. And this geothermal system have a small physical footprint, making them less destructive to surrounding ecosystems. This combination of reliability, sustainability, and minimal environmental impact makes geothermal power a vital source or resource for meeting global energy needs while reducing carbon emission. So now let's proceed on wind energy. So this wind energy is a clean and sustainable method of generating electricity by utilizing the kinetic energy of the wind. This energy source relies on natural wind patterns created by the Earth's rotations and the uneven heating of the planet's surface by the sun. To capture this energy, wind turbines are installed in areas with consistent and strong wind flows, such as coastal regions, open plains, and offshore locations. Each wind turbine consists of large plates attached to a rotor, which is connected to a generator inside the nacelle at the top of the tower. As wind moves through the plates, it causes the rotor to spin, converting the wind's kinetic energy into a mechanical energy. This mechanical energy is then transformed into electrical energy by the generator. The electricity produced can either be fed into the grid for widespread distribution or stored in batteries for later use. Wind farms, which are clusters of turbines working together, are a common setup for maximizing energy production. Offshore wind farms located in oceans or large lakes are particularly effective because winds in these areas tend to be stronger and more stable. Technological advancements have also made turbines more efficient, allowing for energy generation even at lower wind speeds. Wind energy is one of the fastest growing renewable energy sources due to its environmental benefits. It produces no greenhouse gas emissions during operation, requires no fuel, and has a relatively small physical footprint compared to other energy sources. Now let us know the biomass energy. So this biomass energy is a form of renewable energy generated from organic materials that comes from plants, animals, and waste. These materials, collectively known as biomass, include crop residues, wood, forest debris and manure, and even municipal waste. By converting these materials into usable energy, biomass provides a sustainable way to meet energy demands while reducing dependence on fossil fuels. The process begins by collecting biomass resources, which can be processed in several ways to produce energy. One method is burning biomass directly, which generates heat that can be used for industrial processes, residential heating, or to produce steam for electricity generation. Unlike fossil fuels, which release carbon dioxide long trapped in the earth, biomass energy has the potential to be carbon neutral. This is because the carbon dioxide released during energy production is balanced by the carbon absorbed by plants during their growth. However, achieving this balance requires sustainable management practices such as replanting trees or maintaining natural ecosystems. Biomass energy also contributes to waste management by utilizing agricultural, forestry, and municipal waste that would otherwise contribute to pollution. For instance, landfill waste can be used to produce biogas, turning a potential environmental hazard into a valuable energy source. Tidal energy. So this has two main methods of generating tidal energy. So tidal stream system utilize underwater turbines similar to wind turbines to capture the kinetic energy of fast-flowing tidal currents. These turbines are typically installed in areas where tides move through narrow channels or around coastlines, generating significant energy. Tidal range system, on the other hand, exploit the potential energy created by the difference in water levels between high and low tides. The most common method involves building a tidal barrage and a dam-like structure across a tidal estuary or river. During high tide, water flows into a reservoir behind the barrage, and as a tide recedes, the water is released, driving turbines to produce electricity. Tidal energy has several advantages. It is highly predictable and consistent compared to wind or solar energy, as tidal cycles are governed by the moon's orbit and can be forecast years in advance. And as tidal power produces no greenhouse gas emissions during operations, making it environmentally friendly. However, it does face challenges. The construction of large tidal barrage or lagoons can significantly impact marine ecosystems, alter water flow, and affect local fish populations. The initial costs of tidal infrastructure are also high compared to other renewable energy sources. Despite these challenges, advancement in tidal technologies such as small, less invasive underwater turbines and floating tidal systems are making tidal energy more viable, with its potential to provide a steady and clean energy supply. Tidal energy plays a crucial role in diversifying renewable energy portfolios and reducing dependence on fossil fuels. Now let us know the hydrogen gas. So this hydrogen gas is a highly versatile and abundant element that has become a key focus in the global shift towards sustainable energy systems. Though it is the most abundant element in the universe, hydrogen is not readily available in its pure form on Earth and must be extracted from the compounds such as water or hydrocarbons. It is widely regarded as an energy carrier than a direct energy source, meaning it stores and delivers energy derived from other sources. There are several methods of hydrogen production, each with varying environmental economic impacts. The most common method is steam methane reforming, where natural gas reacts with steam under high temperatures to produce hydrogen and carbon dioxide. While this method is cost-effective and widely used, it emits significant amounts of greenhouse gases, making it less sustainable. Electrolysis, on the other hand, uses electricity to split water into hydrogen and oxygen. When powered by renewable energy sources like wind or solar, this process produces green hydrogen, a zero-emission alternative that aligns with climate goals. Hydrogen gas has diverse applications, including as a clean fuel for hydrogen uh, fuel cell vehicle, a medium for energy storage, and a feedstock in industries like ammonia production and petroleum refining. Its ability to store energy over a long period makes it a valuable component in stabilizing renewable energy systems.
Good day everyone, my name is Johanna S. Mancao and I am going to discuss about the renewable sources of energy. So the first one is the biomass energy. Although biomass is a renewable energy, this should not be mistaken for a clean energy source. Although biomass is significantly cleaner than most fossil fuels such as coals and oil, it still produces sulfur dioxide during electricity production. So, biomass ay isang uri ng renewable energy na nagmumula sa mga bagay tulad ng kahoy, halaman at basura ng hayop. Kahit mas malinis ito kaysa sa coal at oil, hindi ibig sabihin na wala na itong effect sa environment. Naglalabas pa rin ito ng sulfur dioxide kapag ginagamit para gumawa ng kuryente. For instance, ang paggamit ng mga wood pellets sa biomass power plant para makagawa ng kuryente ay isang practical na application ng biomass energy. Number 2 is the hydro energy or hydropower. Hydro energy, commonly referred to as hydropower, is a very clean and powerful method for generating electricity from a trapped wall of water. The disadvantage to hydropower is the cost to the surrounding environment, and land downstream will be drained during construction. This can have disastrous effect for wildlife and life in the rivers. So, ang hydro energy ay gumagamit ng tubig para makagawa ng kuryente. Karaniwang mula sa isang dam na nagpapatakbo ng mga turbines. Malinis at efficient ito, pero ang pagbuo ng dam ay pwedeng makasira sa kapaligiran lalo na sa mga ilog at buhay sa tubig. So, for instance, ang Binga Dam sa Benguet ay isang halimbawa ng hydropower plant dito sa Philippines. Number 3 is the geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is a reliable energy source depending on your location. It is commonly used to provide a source of heating or hot water for household using, ground source heat pumps, and also can be used as the energy source for power stations in appropriate areas. So, geothermal energy ay mula sa init ng ilalim ng lupa. Madalas itong ginagamit para sa heating ng mga bahay o sa paggawa ng kuryente, lalo na sa mga lugar na may volcanic activity. Reliable ito kung nasa tamang location kasi depende sa init ng lupa. For instance, ang Tiwa Geothermal Power Plant sa Albay ay gumagamit ng init mula sa lupa para mag-produce ng kuryente. Number 4 is the solar energy. Solar energy can be somewhat unreliable depending on the placement, location, and surrounding environment of the solar cells. The greater the solar energy supply, the more effective the cells will be. However, the more heat a solar panel receives, the more reliable it can be. So, ang solar energy ay nanggagaling mula sa araw gamit ang mga solar panels para mag-convert ng sunlight sa kuryente. Pwedeng maging hindi ito ganap na reliable dahil depende sa lugar at weather conditions. Mas maraming araw, mas effective, pero masyadong init ay maaaring makabawas sa efficiency. For instance, ang paggamit ng solar panels sa mga bahay sa Ilocos na kilala sa pagiging maaraw. So, number 5 is the tidal energy. Tidal energy can be used to create electricity from the large energy force behind the tides. The main advantage of tidal energy is the effects on the surrounding environment, affecting sea life and shore access. So, tidal energy ay kumukuha ng kuryente mula sa galaw ng tubig dagat, particular mula sa high tide at low tide. Malakas ang pwersa ng tubig, pero ang downside ay ang effect nito sa kalikasan, lalo na sa mga yamang dagat at accessibility sa mga baybayin. For instance, sa France, ang La Rance Tidal Power Station ay gumagamit ng tidal energy para sa pag-produce ng kuryente. So that will be all. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.
Wave energy. Wave energy comes from the movement of waves in the ocean. The energy is harnessed using devices like buoys, turbines, or oscillating water columns. These devices convert the kinetic energy of the moving waves into electricity. Paano ito siya gumagana? When waves pass through, they push and pull these devices. For instance, an oscillating water column traps air in a chamber. The wave force the air out, turning turbines to generate electricity. Like for example, ang Oyster Wave Energy Converter in Scotland. Wave energy pilot projects are being tested sa Philippines due to its vast coastlines, especially in areas like Ilocos Norte and Bataan. So now let's proceed sa wind energy. Wind energy comes from converting the kinetic energy of wind electrical power using wind turbines. So, paano ito siya gumagana? Large blades on the turbines rate when wind blows. So, itong movement na ito ay nagiging generator inside the turbine which nagpo-produce ng electricity. Strong winds in open areas or coastal regions are ideal for wind farms. Like for example, Bagui Wind Farm in Ilocos Norte, Philippines, with 20 wind turbines lying along the coastline. Burgos Wind Farm in Ilocos Norte, the largest wind farm in Southeast Asia. Wood energy is derived from burning wood or using wood waste as a fuel. It is a form of biomass energy which is renewable because trees can be replanted. So, paano ito siya gumagana? Wood can be directly burned for heat or processed into wood pellets or charcoal for cooking and heating. Advanced system also convert wood waste into biogas or bio-oil to generate electricity. Like for example, in rural areas of the Philippines, firewood and charcoal are commonly used for cooking. Biomass plants in the country also use wood chips and agricultural residues to generate power like the San Carlos Biopower in Negros Occidental.